Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, this is going to be another one. This is going to fall into that category of another kind of EDC video, even though it's not really, it's kind of like an everyday carry. What we're going to do here is kind of really set up a bug out bag or a survival bag or a kind of semi first aid type of bag, whatever you want to call it. People call it by different names. I'm no major expert in that kind of stuff, but obviously on this channel, we speak about things that everybody should have, as far as just like we always say, self-growth, mental growth, all those kind of things. I think a part of that also is just, as a person who wants to be ready for things, it's nice to have a little setup for yourself to be ready. I would say that you carry in your car. If you are the type who own a car, if you don't own a car, obviously maybe just keep this around the house or whatever the case is. Maybe it's something that you could travel with every now and then, but it's really more so in my mind for something for in the car. Now, some people a lot of times will make bug out bags for things like, you're outside camping or you're outside for those times where it has to be a survival situation and, trying to survive off the grid. We're not going that heavy in this video because I'm not one of those people who is living off the grid or anything of that sort. I'm in an urban area, domesticated, but I did want to put together a little emergency bag for things, for scenarios that I come across, which is one, obviously having some form of first aid, or if you injure yourself, but then two, or your kids, if you are a parent. And obviously on this channel, we spoke before about people being moms and dads and things of that sort, being parents and whatnot. So it's either for that reason or to help somebody else out. But in addition to that, just certain situations that you may have come across or had to face. So, for example, I have experienced in the last, I want to say, maybe 5 or 6 years, 3 blackouts in the area. I think two of them were not super severe, and where it lasted about maybe 4 hours and eventually got your power back on, whatever the case is. And then one that lasted 3 days, which is pretty severe. Now, generally speaking, in an urban area, you would be able to kind of make do. But say if you were, you know, out someplace or even like that happened, you just need a little something. This little kit kind of really helps with that. So we're just going to really dive in. So first, I purchased a bag that I could put it in, and I did some research on Amazon, and I really kind of like this one. So the price on this was $24. Yes, $24. And that's the name. Let me bring it up to where I can see it. The Taxtum Molle admin. It says PO. Let me see what the slip says so I can see the full name. The PO is for pouch. With laser cutting loop, car EDC, EMT, Molle pouch, large capacity, X, Y, and Z. So I'm not familiar with the term Molle pouch necessarily, but as I was kind of researching this stuff, I guess it's just really like a survival pack or something that like can attach to your belt in a very sturdy way. Or sometimes I have seen, let me adjust the camera a little bit. I've seen where people can use a strap and put this as a front harness. That seems to be more like militant though in some of the pictures they have on Amazon. So link's going to be in the description for all the things that I'm going to showcase here. There's a few items that I'm going to showcase here. So here you go. Matter of fact. So I think it's a nice size. I also like the fact that you had exterior stuff. So if you wanted to throw something in here, like maybe like a multi-tool, and even though I'm going to put the link in the description to some of the multi-tools that I have, but I'm just going to use this for example, because this is obviously not one of the newer things that I've purchased, but one of my multi-tools will go inside this pack. You could slide it in there and then lock it up. So I wanted to have some spaces on the outside that you could have. Right here is a nice spot for like a pen. If you want to throw a pen there. This right here is a Velcro area, which I guess you know, I'm sure there are additional pouches you can buy separately on Amazon to kind of Velcro things, but it comes with that just as a little decorative. You got a pouch here. So the front pouches, I like that you have the front pouches. I'm guessing also too with these little clips here, you could throw things on there similar to, say, I got another multi-tool here that has a clip like that. So you'd be able to slide that in like there. Let's see, you got these right here, these little rings on top. Now these right here, and I think you could also use these ones on the side. Generally speaking, these, I think they showed on the picture on Amazon that these were like had straps going from here, and then they wrapped around a person's chest, and this was sitting on top of that, like in front of their chest. I'm sorry. So that's an option to carry it. No side pockets. This is, I guess, what they call part of the Molle system based on the way I was seeing it displayed on the Amazon pictures. And it's almost like you put this through your belt in some way. I'm not really too sure. I'm sure there are ways to look it up, but I'm not too familiar with how all that works. You have some additional locations here that you could strap stuff on. So you could throw a couple other things on there, like maybe some things that have clips here. And now getting into the inside of the bag, you got a lot of different storage areas. So you got these front pockets here that go down pretty deep. And then we have, this is another kind of strap system where you can put like something with a clip on here. So you have 3 of them. And then you have the outer ones. Are they something? Yes, you could clip on there too. So you have, no, I'm sorry, it's 4. So the bigger one here, 2 smaller ones, a bigger one. And then each one of these, they have on the bigger one, there's 3, 2 on the smaller ones. And this one, even though it's a little bigger, no, that's a small one too. I'm sorry. So 1 big one, 3 small ones, and those have 2 small clip mounts on the exterior of that. So you could really like pile something in there really well when it comes to that. And then you have this inner pocket here. So a decent amount of space to hold everything. I'm sure I'm going to be able to hold everything that I purchased in here without a problem. Next, we got elastic bandages or simply ace bandages. There's 2 different sizes. So there's a large and a small. This is a good picture diagram of it because this is what they showed on the website on Amazon. Like I said, for all these things, going to have the link in the description. Let's see how many does it, because 2 sizes and it says 12 clips, but how many do they come with in here? I don't even really know. So we are going to open this up. And let's see what we got. I believe I purchased the one that has just 4. And there we go. With extra clips if they're needed. Okay. And you've got different types of clips too. So you have those, which are the elastic clips, but then you also have the traditional old school clips like that, which I think those are pretty nice too. More of like a surefire kind of thing. So obviously these don't need any explanation, but I will tell you the price. So those are, let me see. Those were $10. So not bad for $10, I think. So we're going to throw these back in and take one size of each because that's going to end up going into the bag as well. And then at the end of the video, we're going to throw everything into the bag. So I purchased this, a left and a right one. So my thought process with this is, oh, before I continue on this little thing for the ace bandages, there's actually 3 different types. And it kind of asks, you know, what's your opinion on what you think in regards to the 3 different types? Which do you prefer? The old school, metal, or the newly designed plastic clips? I think I always used to like that type, which is the old school one. I was always a fan of those. But anyway, so toss that aside. I bought 2 of these, one left and one right, because obviously, you know, you're going to need the diversity, and they don't build them to be, you know, one can be for one hand, one for another hand. So these came up to $12.72. Let's just say $13. Now, obviously, the point of these is to be like a mini kind of cast. They're like wrist support. I've used some of like one of these in the past for my, I think it was my left arm. You know, just whenever I had problems where, like, say if I injured myself or whatever the case is, and they really do help. So this right here is great for just say if you're playing. I had one of my boys actually injure his hand before, and something like this would have been nice to have on hand. So if you have that, especially for kids or yourself, most of the time for yourself, if you get really badly injured, you're just going to go, you know, to the hospital right away. And not to say you aren't going to do the same with your kid, but if you have little kids, I think it's great to be able to throw this on their arm. Say if they're playing at the park, they injure themselves, they fall, you might be able to throw this on and it makes them feel a little bit better. So I just figured for the price, not a big deal to get 2 of them. Let's try to get into this. Now, that's the one thing with these, like I said before, if you're going to buy them, you got to get a left and a right, because you don't know which arm it's going to be that is injured. There you go. Instructions for proper use. All right. This is for the English instructions here. Your hand. Put your hand in position, close all straps securely. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. Let's see, this is the left. That's one thing that's going to be a thing, is making sure you remember which one is which when you put them in the bag, because I don't know if they say left or right on them. Let me see, does it? This says it right here, yes, on the tag. So okay, so that's something you don't have to worry about there. Like I said, people go different ways with their bug out bags, but I wanted something that I've experienced issues with and stuff like that before. Like I said, I've had times where my arm's been injured. So you can see right there, this right here is a metal piece, so it keeps your arm from bending. It's pretty thick material overall. I didn't want to try to find something too expensive. There were some that go for like $20-something. And the reason why is because I was going to buy 2 of them. So I'm not buying one. So essentially the price would have doubled. But you just needed something basic to kind of get you by, and it feels nice, feels supportive. So that's that. We're going to put that aside and throw that off to the side. And we're just going to open this one up just for the purpose of, like I said at the end of the video, we're going to all try to cram this into the bag. right hand. And what's nice about that, obviously, you can see is that the right hand is green and the left hand is blue. So at least you already know what's what just by color. So in a pinch, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what color it is. I mean, what arm that it goes on. So, okay. Now, next. So I actually not that long ago bought a battery a power bank. And it was a basic one. It was, just a regular power bank for charging up. I actually bought it to charge up my laptop more than anything else. Something that may not necessarily be a necessity for somebody. But I bought this one now in addition to that. Why? Because this one specifically, I feel for more survival type of stuff. So let me explain what I mean based on the features that it has. So one, and I've seen ones that have solar packs on them. Let me first say what the price is. Now, actually, I don't know if this was running sale or not, but this was $40. Now it's 38,800 milliamps. So any of you guys who are familiar, most of the time, the large iPhone or the large Samsung will probably be 5,000 milliamps. Most of the smaller versions are like maybe 3,000 milliamps. Most power banks, the average size starts at about 10,000 milliamps. So this is about more than 3 times that, almost 4 times that in terms of milliamps. What's great about this though is that one, it's a 10 watt output, and I was debating between this one and another charger, which the other charger, I don't know if the output was necessarily greater. I'm going to tell you why I went with this charger here. One had more, they both were the same price on sale, but this one had, I went for this one because a few things. One, the max, that's what it says, long run time. The max amount of power, which I just said, 38,800 milliamps is a lot. In addition to that, I never seen any like this, but apparently this is a new thing now, where it folds out like a wallet, and then you got 4 panels to charge the battery unit. So at that point, instead of just one panel charging, I've seen those type before, we have just the base part has a panel on it. This one folds out, and now you have 4 charging panels, which makes it charge very quickly because, see, it says it right there, 4 times the charge via solar panel. So now, I don't know what it's rated to, how long it takes to charge, but it for sure would charge very, very fast. Safe speed for Android and iOS. I guess that means that it's not overcharging them too fast. Now, also, to another reason I purchased this, besides for the fact that it solar charges very fast and it has a big bank of energy, is that it actually has wireless charging. Now, that's a big deal. Why? Say if you did bring this little bug out pack with you camping or something like that, or you're just out and about somewhere. If you don't have wires, we're able to completely charge the power bank, and you can completely charge your phone. Most phones do wireless charging at this point. My phone does wireless charging. So now I wouldn't need wires at all when it comes to utilizing this to charge my phone. In addition, this thing actually comes with a light on it as well. So let's get into it. I don't even need this to open it. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention that A-class battery. I didn't mention the name of it. So it's called QiSa, QiSa maybe, solar charge. So that's supposed to be the name of the company. A lot of times when you look at these boxes, they don't seem to have that branding on it. So sometimes you're not really sure the naming of it. And I don't see that branding name on it. But like I said, link's going to be in the description. So we've got something to charge it, a wire to charge it. We've got a little carabiner clip. It takes USB-C. Okay. This a little bit. Now, this is the Velcro. And let's see how this goes. So you unfold like that, boom, like that, and boom, like that. And now we've got all 4 panels locked and loaded. All that to the side for now. Now you can see here there's only one lit up in terms of the power. Now I don't know if, let's see, let me fold this back just to kind of see. Okay, so the flash side, you have it on this side. I don't know how to operate the flashlight right now, nor am I going to try to figure that out right now, because we're just really doing this to showcase what everything is and not necessarily turn the flashlight on. You know what? I'm going to pause it and figure out what we're going to do with that right now with the flashlight. I don't know. I just pressed the on button and now I got all these lights here, and though before it said green, so I don't know what the green means charging. Give me a second. All right, so did a little quick run through of the instructions. So here's how it works. This button on the side, there's a button on the side here, and that lets you know how much power you have. The green light lets you know that it's solar charging. So when you see just the green light, and the blue ones are going to come off in a moment, it's going to let you know it's solar charging. So there's 4 little LEDs, the blue ones, and that lets you know that it's 25%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. But then there is the green one, which is the 5th one, which just lets you know that it's receiving solar power. So that's what that means. Let it go turned off. So this is supposed to be doing wireless charging, and let's see. So okay, so you got to press that button switch that lit up the lights, and then it goes into charge mode. So now it's charging. I just want to make sure that it works. So that's how you put it on that mode. Now, as far as right here, this is for the, let's see how I bring this down. Okay, so this right here is supposed to be to keep it like waterproof, but I am having so much trouble just giving it open. Am I opening it the right way? No, I think I'm okay. I was moving it the wrong way. So you're going to pull it upwards from the bottom here, from where the flashlight is. I was doing it the wrong way. You have 2 USB A's and 1 USB C for plug-in charging. I'm going to imagine also the USB C is how you gain power. Now, for the flashlight here, it says something to the effect of, you hold this down. Let's see if it works. Yep. For the flashlight, tap it again to go the dim mode. Tap it again, should be the SOS. And then tap it again for strobe. And then the last time turns it off. But if you're in any of those modes before you get to the final mode, just hold it down and it should turn it off. So like I said, this is for that, for the purpose of just being able to, make sure I have juice, I have power when that time comes needed. No need to go any more further into that. Next is a tourniquet. It's a basic tourniquet. It's not expensive at all. This goes for, let's see here, $8. Find them on Amazon. Link's going to be in the description. There's a ton of them. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. You obviously know tourniquet is to really stop bleeding. I would say if you need, you can look at YouTube for a video on how to use them. For the most part, let's see if the instructions gives you a little basic rundown on that. It's not that hard, but some of these things are not as easy to use in terms of there's a whole process where you got to spin it and then you got to lock it up. I've done that kind of training before, but it's not one of those things unless you practice it all the time will you remember. So here kind of tells you how to do it. So you can go over the instructions, but I definitely would say go on YouTube and watch someone do it, because sometimes visually, a lot of us are visual learners and it's easier to get from doing it like that. But I would also say too, make sure that you keep the instructions on hand in your bag. So I'll probably just keep it in it just like this. That way, everything's together. So yeah, I'm not going to bother. This whole thing can get messy if you unravel it all completely. But it's your basic tourniquet. Anyone can just kind of YouTube what this is, how it works, and you would get a simple idea of that. Now, last that I have here, I actually ordered one other thing that is going to come a little bit late, and that is a little flashlight. I'm going to throw a link in the description for that as well, even though I don't have it here to display, but essentially it's a tiny little flashlight that's about probably the length of my finger. And it comes in two parts, where the back part of it, we'll say like where the cut is on my finger here is like the back part. You would unscrew it, I believe, or it just pulls off. I think it's a kind of twist screw. And then what happens is when you pull it off, the flashlight lights. It's rechargeable USB. So I seen it from another channel and it just looked really cool, because it's one of those things where going hand in hand with the solar power bank that I have, you'd always be able to have power with it, even though for right now, I'm covered with flashlight by the fact that the solar power bank has its own flashlight. Hey, you guys. So I'm inserting this clip into the main video. This actually came a couple of days later, but being that I didn't get a chance to post the video by the time this came in, I just wanted to insert this clip into the video. And obviously later on, when I wrap up the bug out bag, as far as all the accessories that I'm putting into it, this is not going to be in it. But this is the IMINI 2, which I already spoke about before this segment in the main video. It's a stylish, magnetic, and rechargeable mini light. So we're going to get into this. Link's going to be in the description below for you guys to purchase this on Amazon. I seen this from another content creator who deals with a lot of EDC stuff, and it just looked very interesting. Okay, I'm figuring this out as I go along with you guys. So you got the user manual. I'm not going to try to figure out how to work this right now if I can't get it to start right away. But if anything, I will do a follow-up if I need to, because right now it's just really showing all the different things. But if I can get it to start right away, then that will be a plus. Let me angle this a little differently so we can see this a little better. So this right here is to charge it. If I'm not mistaken, you can plug this right into a USB port and it starts charging. I can always keep this just to keep it from being, getting wet, even though it's still water can get through it, but it'll make it a little more splash resistant. So some of the things that it comes with. This is a spare one of these, so that's cool. Your user manual. This is a carabiner clip, which I'm guessing this would have to go on to the same end that you would put here with this hole. So I'm not really too sure how this would go because you can't get this in there. Oh, well, what you would probably do is you'd have to get yourself your own separate keychain loop to put on here, and then you could put that on there. So it'd be like a two-part thing. So you don't have everything you need here for it, is the way I'm seeing it. You can do this, but I don't think that that feels right because it doesn't really actually, sit well. So, and let's see if we can. So I'm going to unscrew. Okay, you don't have to unscrew. You just pull it off. You see it works. So that's what I like about it. It's magnetic. So you leave it on like that, and now it stops it. So it like plugs it up. It's one of those things that's just very super simple. So say if you did have it on a keychain and you just pulled it off your keychain, the light's on. And then you just put it back, it magnetizes, and it turns off. I think that this is very awesome. And that's what attracted me to it. Like I said, link's going to be description. It's roughly about $20. The fact that it's rechargeable, and it's just very simple. You don't even have to have something to turn it on. So it makes it easy where you're like, you could pull it out. Say if you're doing something with your hands, so you put this part in your mouth, you're holding it and just aiming it how people do with their flashlights, but it's just so small. So I think that's really awesome. All right, you guys. And then we're just going to jump to the next set of tools in the video. And then obviously here we have Paracord. Now, Paracord can be used for many different things, so I'm not very familiar with it in terms of that aspect of it, where a person will use Paracord for a bunch of different things. But this is 100 feet. It says pounds, 1,000 pounds. So I'm guessing that that's the strength that Paracord can hold. It says made from nylon, 100% reliable, guaranteed. So I'm not familiar with it, but I asked around for friends of mine who are kind of familiar with this stuff, and they told me that essentially you can drag somebody with it. You could use it for many different things. It's very strong. So I think essentially what Paracord is just very strong rope. So let's see. Let's see if I can get into this without making a mess of things. I know a lot of times too, you have people with who do the EDC videos, and they'll have their test out their multi-tools on this stuff just to see that it works, to cut it, which is interesting. I'm guessing people buy this stuff just to kind of throw on their channel and like cut things up. I'm going to take my favorite multi-tool, the Viberry Pro. And so sometimes people are really like, oh, the scissors do it in one shot, this and that. I'm no expert, so I don't know. I still love this tool. So sometimes they say if you hold it a different way, it cuts better. Fine to me. Yeah, it works. Anyway, so let me just tie this into this a little bit so it's a little less just out there. Okay. So a little bit of paracord that we're going to use. It feels strong. Essentially, you've got nylon coating over like a kind of rope material. So made to be very strong, I guess. I don't, like I said, I'm not too familiar with it, but it says it holds 1,000 pounds. So this is going to go into the bag as well. And then, of course, add this stuff on the side here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring out, I think I'm going to put the multi-tool I'm going to choose to throw into the bag right now. It's by the QiSa for the moment. I have this other Barberry too that I recently did a review on, and I like this one too. Little heads up, I'm actually going to end up doing a video where I actually take parts of this one off and I'm going to experiment to combine it with another Barberry. So hopefully that experiment goes well. But anyway, whatever multi-tool that you choose to use that one. So we got our bag here. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take the paracord, which is the most messy thing, and let's see. Just wrap this around. Like I said, I'm no expert, but this just at least to give it a sense of being a little bit cleaned up. And let's see. Now I could just take that and throw that in right there if I wanted. Or is there a better spot for me to put it? So we got the zip there. We have different zip things all around. I think just to keep it from unraveling for now, I'll throw the paracord down here like that. I'll take this. I don't think I'm going to have too much on the outside necessarily, except for probably the multi-tool, because even though you wouldn't want something happening to the multi-tool as far as like someone taking it, but at the same time too, it's probably the thing that you want to be able to go to reach the most often. So I think the multi-tool will go right here. That way, if you need to grab it for anything, that's the first thing that you're going to be able to grab. Take the tourniquet, slide that in over here. You know what? I'm going to put that one in the middle. And so another thing I'm going to do too, I don't have right now on hand because I got to take another roll out of a bag, but that is paper towel. And I'm going to take rip a couple of sheets of paper towel off and throw in here. So what I'm having issues with here for some reason is the multi-tool is actually getting in the way of this. So let me put this thing in first, and then the multi-tool should be able to still squeeze in after the fact. It actually gives the multi-tool a tighter fit in there. That's not going to need to come out of there for anything really for the most part, so that's fine. Take this right here and put that there. So now we've got our three. Let me change this camera angle a little bit. Now we've got the three, the ace bandage, and we have the tourniquet. And obviously what's going to go in the bottom there. So let's see what we can do here. What can we squeeze? Can we squeeze this in here? I don't think so. That's definitely way too big. So what we'll do is I'm going to put this also in here with the paracord, because they both fit in there pretty snug, and that's a good place. The paracord gets to stretch out long, just the way I have it. If you want to wrap it differently, you could and throw it in here, but I'm just going to put it in there with that. I'm not going to really be able to utilize these little pocket things. I mean, these little clip areas here, at least for my use right now. This is annoying. But this right here is for the solar power. Now it comes with a carabiner clip. I really have nothing that I can even do with this or put it anywhere really. So what I'll do is that it comes with it. I'll actually put this here, which kind of works out because now I could attach something to that. So that's cool. Normally you want to keep the cables. I'm just going to throw them here just to kind of be out of the way of this. I don't want to keep it in here, then it's hard to find. And last but not least, take these right here. Now, most people don't have stuff like that in their packs, but generally speaking, if somebody hurts their arm and they're not bleeding, I'm going to use this over the ACE bandages. And obviously it's reusable. Not to say that ACE bandages aren't reusable, but I'm going to probably say those will be primarily used, unless it's for the leg, but primarily it might be where if someone's bleeding, this is why I'm going to put the paper towel in there, a couple of, sheets of paper towels. That way you could put them on a wound and then you can put the ACE bandage. So even though I don't have anything inside here that's going to be liquid for like disinfectant or anything, that the reason why I'm not doing that in this is because as of right now, and I may add stuff later on, I just don't want to put anything that will expire in it. Anything that's going to be where, down the line, you have to replace it because it expires, some kind of liquid, or, sometimes people who are using the whole outside thing type of bug out bag, like you're in the wilderness off the grid, they'll have things to start fire. I'm not going to do that because, like I said, sometimes when you have something like that and you have it sitting in here, sometimes lighter fluid can evaporate or it's tossing around a lot. Who knows if it'll come out or not? I'm not really too familiar with it. So this is probably going to sit for a long time. So for that reason, that's going to be the case with this. So one thing that I have a lot of at home, I bought a big pack you can find on Amazon, just regular generic big pins. And I have a lot of those, and I like to keep them everywhere. Keep them in the counter drawer. I keep them in my backpack that I'll take with me if I'm going places like work or whatever the case is. But yeah, throw those in there. Nice spot to put them because that's too deep for anything else to go in. Otherwise, you're gonna lose it. These, even though they stick out, it's fine. And that's always just keep pens on you all the time because you never know. There's a lot of people who don't carry pens these days, and I think it's a shame because then they always got to ask someone kind of borrow your pen, which I just think everyone should be carrying a pen. As I mentioned on this channel before, if you're actually going out and you're trying to accessorize, pens are like a major thing, but I'm not going to get into all that right now. So this right here is my little bug out pack right here. Obviously, you see what's in it. Link's going to be description for everything. I think it's pretty cool. Start off. To me, I'm kind of new to it, so I filled it with what I want to fill it with. You fill up yours or whatever you feel comfortable with. Make sure that it caters to your lifestyle. I'm not going to tell you go cater to these guys who, and there's nothing wrong with them, but these guys who do all the kind of, hardcore outside, outback stuff or whatever, and they're kind of whatever. That may not be your life. So don't do something that doesn't cater to your life. In this case, I'm doing something that I could utilize all these things, whether an emergency or even on a daily use if need be. Maybe I can go to park with my kids or something like that. I have the solar charger because my phone's dying. One thing I also want to put in here too, but I wasn't going to order this off Amazon, or at least not right now, is Band-Aids. I might just pick them up at a just store. I know sometimes you can buy those at your big stores like Costco or BJ's, whatever the case is, Sam Clubs, and you get a nice big pack. I just want to buy some Band-Aids because obviously I used to always carry those on me as well. That's always great to have, especially when you have kids running around. Throw a little Band-Aid on. So that's a thing too. Little things like that. I probably will also, even though I carry this in my car, large hand sanitizer, having a small bottle of a hand sanitizer, if you have one laying around, buy the small one and then just refill it with a bigger one if you have, and just, you know, fill it up as need be. But I definitely say have a little small uh, a small hand sanitizer on you. And the truth is, you know, I'm no expert, but you could relatively probably use hand sanitizer as your disinfectant for even wounds if it comes to that. So it's a very kind of universal cleaning agent when it comes to that, you know, rather than you walking around with, say, peroxide and those other stuff. Just throw that on. You can have those little bottles that are like that small. You just throw it on. So definitely would say that's something that you don't mind to keep inside the pack, because even if you had it in there for a while and you dump it out, most people have hand sanitizer at home. You got a small bottle like that and it's been in there for like 6 months, pour it all out, refill it. It's only that big, and just that would be it. Other stuff like that, like I don't really want to, like I don't have a need for fire, so that's not my thing. Some people throw that in their pack. But anyway, as always, you guys put your comments down below, whatever your thoughts are. What kind of, how have you loaded up your kind of either emergency bag, bug out bag, whatever you want to call it, whatever you keep on you, whether it's in your car, whatever the case is, whatever you loaded up in yours. You know, we can share that all with each other. So as always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.